The first season of Ahsoka featured many new or updated ships, but none so prominently as the T-6 shuttle. Used by Ahsoka and Huyang throughout the show, this beautiful Clone Wars ship was one of the best parts of the series. In this video we will break down the history and specifications of this antique Jedi ship and see the different variations in how it is portrayed across series. I'm Joey from Radio Free Coruscant, and this is the tale of the T-6.
To get down there.
We cannot land while under attack. Standard Jedi mission protocol states.
Won't need to land.
Oh, not this again.
Yes, this again.
3, 2, 1.
Design. The T-6 was a medium shuttle with a plus-shaped cross-section and a massive half-circle wing that swiveled around the neck connecting the cockpit to the hull. It featured 3 to 5 engines depending on the depiction and could optionally be equipped with a rear laser turret. The T-6 has appeared in 3 different Star Wars shows and has been depicted differently in each one. In the original Clone Wars version, it had 3 engines in a row across the back of the ship, and the aft end of the vertical segments was blank. In Tales of the Jedi, the ship was updated to resemble the level of detail of the one seen in the then-upcoming Ahsoka series, but it also added smaller engines above and below the original row at the back of the vertical sections. The more angular design and different detailing I can chalk up to simply being an art style change, as there were 13 years of improvement between the shuttle's first Clone Wars appearance and its appearance in Tales of the Jedi. However, adding 2 extra engines seems like a lot to brush off, so I believe that this is an in-universe change as well. Perhaps during the Clone Wars, the top and bottom engines were removed to reduce the cost of the machine. Anyway, the shuttle as it appears in Ahsoka is largely identical to the Tales version, but the top engine is replaced with a ball turret. I don't know if this was a modification by Ahsoka and Huyang, or an alternative offered by the manufacturer, but I'm inclined to think the former. Ahsoka says that Huyang has been keeping this shuttle flying for longer than she's been alive, which tells us that this is officially the pre-war model, and if the company offered an armed version of the ship, the Jedi would have surely used it during the Clone Wars. Thus, this must be a modification made by Huyang, Ahsoka, or Sabine. The Tales of the Jedi T-6 also lacks the airlocks that the Ahsoka version has, but they could also be a later addition, or the shuttle originally had covers to conceal them as some ships do, that were eventually discarded by Huyang. This shuttle had an oddly large number of entry points for a ship of its size either way. In Tales of the Jedi, we see a boarding ramp on the front of the lower vertical, and in both Tales and Ahsoka, we see a ramp coming out of the bottom left of the horizontal section. In Ahsoka, the shuttle also had a large door in the side of the horizontal section, and an airlock on either side of the upper deck, as mentioned. For anyone keeping score at home, that's 2 boarding ramps, 2 airlocks, and a cargo door for a ship not much bigger than a Lambda shuttle. That's 5 doors. If we assume that the ramp and side door are mirrored on either side, that's 7. Very strange. Finally, I have to mention my favorite feature of the shuttle, the retractable conference table. It can rise up to give the ship a table and benches for passenger seating and a hologram terminal, or retract to make room for lightsaber training and a life-sized hologram projection. Let's hope its surface is self-cleaning as well. Specifications. The shuttle's hull measured 22.8 meters long by roughly 10 meters wide and tall, while the wing was about 32 meters across. It had a maximum atmospheric speed of 1,200 kilometers per hour or 745 miles per hour. This speed only covered the original 3-engine model though, and the 4 or 5-engine models were presumably faster. It had a recommended crew of 2 but could easily be flown by 1 if necessary, and it could carry an unknown number of passengers and cargo. History. The T-6 shuttle was designed by Slayn and Korpil shortly before 68 BBY. It was used by the Jedi until the very end of the Clone Wars in 19 BBY. Its manufacturer was the same company that built the B-Wing, V-19, MG-100, and other vertically inclined ships. It was used for many Jedi missions in the last half-century of their existence, including diplomatic missions, search and rescue operations, and more. One such shuttle, T-6 1974, was owned by Jedi sabersmith Huyang, who used it on missions where his main ship, the Crucible, would be unnecessary. After the Crucible's destruction, he switched to the shuttle full-time, installing a smaller version of his lightsaber workshop there, and using it to escape Order 66. We don't know what he did for the next 30 years, but at some point he encountered Ahsoka Tano and the two paired up for a variety of adventures. The most famous of these took them to a galaxy far, far away in the mouth of a purrgil to attempt to stop Grand Admiral Thrawn from returning. Unfortunately, they were unsuccessful, and now they and their shuttle, as well as Ahsoka's Padawan Sabine Wren, are now trapped there until further notice. But I'm sure they'll find their way back. Unlike most Jedi starships, not all T-6 shuttles were scrapped following the destruction of the Jedi Order. Many of these shuttles found their way into civilian ownership, and several were present for the Battle of Exegol. These shuttles were armed with aftermarket cannons attached to the sides of the cockpit. The T-6 is one of the most elegant shuttle designs in galactic history and wholeheartedly deserves the attention it got in the Ahsoka series. I hope we don't have to wait too long to see it again. Let me know what you think of this shuttle in the comments below and what you'd like to see next. Anyway, that's all I have for this week, so I'll see you later. RFC out.